Everywhere is traffic. You gonna, yep.
People can bust them. You were here before them. That's some perfect. Good job. Yeah.
Bill,
Did
go.
you see the traffic yesterday going off the Cape? It was backed up to like Yarmouth.
Thank you. All set.
Okay, good evening, everybody, and thanks for coming. Just a quick message I have to read about recording the meeting. If anybody's recording the meeting, could they please let the chair know that so we can recognize the recording is happening. Seeing nobody, we'll move on. It's a roll call. We'll start on my left here.
Maureen Piccioni.
Rich French.
Bill Carey.
Renee King.
Donna Bragg.
And Tom O'Neill. Thanks, everybody. So on the minutes for June 10th, anybody have any? There was very voluminous minutes from dear Donna here, so lots to read. But
Good job.
it was
Correction.
it was a long.
I'm going to hurt you. Go ahead. Go ahead. I don't spend enough time doing this. Go ahead.
It says here, BPD Cottage Colony Fire Drill. It's BFD.
All right. Oh, my God.
So
All right,
we'll
we'll change
we'll
that.
reprint 10,000 copies of the minutes to make sure that's
It's no, don't.
reflected. All right.
I'll move that we vote on the minutes, approve the minutes as printed.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carried. Thanks, everybody. Just a quickie notes from the chair. The Appointments Committee, Maureen and I are still up for reappointment. The Appointments Committee is behind schedule, so there's no news on that. I think they had a little bit of a snafu with the posting last month, so that slowed things down a little bit, but we're still waiting to hear. And I think in that respect, we'll probably reschedule the officers' elections until we find out what's going on with the Appointments Committee. There's no point in rushing it, really. So we'll put that on the agenda for next month, and if all the appointments are solidified by then we can hold the elections then. Okay. All righty. Correspondence. Anything, Donna? No, not for me either. Staff report.
Yeah, short and sweet. First of all, I just want to say that we had a great 4th of July. A lot of people. Very few things happened. Lots of smiling faces. Lots of good food out there. It was pretty intense. We did have to close the off-road vehicle beach at 11:30 because we had reached a sensible capacity. And of course, we had a parking lot closure at 9:30, and that lasted all day. So we couldn't say enough about it. The way it was set up was perfect, and the amount of staff. So this is it. This is our big thing. Currently, we're open to 1.1 mile. Now, I will tell you that we should be opening a bit more by the end of this week. Hey, Paul. Once we do, it may be to Trail 2, and that was where we're going to stay for quite a while because we have tons of birds behind that, but that's going to give us a lot more space. Right now we have 55 camper spaces, and for the first time since we've been doing this, we were full completely, but nobody was turned away. Everybody, we had a couple pocket spaces for them if we needed, but everybody had a great time with that. So cottage owners are using Trail 1 or an escort because they took care of the connector trail that going over to the cottage colony. We've had very few escorts, which has been lovely, because last year we had 52. So we're down to like 4, so which is really good. So day trippers are people that are on the beach because we are parking perpendicular. We have them park with their headlights facing the dunes. In case of emergency, they don't have to back out. They just pull forward and go. So, and the camper sites have cones. So they have 26 feet of space, and they have back and forth, so they have plenty of room. Lots of people brought their boats for the 4th of July. There were lots of people fishing off of Sandy Neck. Lots of fun things happening. Our gatehouse hours are 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, and the ORV beach is open 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. And you have to be through the gatehouse by 9 o'clock at night if you want to go for a little ride, an evening ride. And the campfires are allowed at 7 p.m. And the speed limit is strictly 5 miles an hour on the ORV. That is it. We have nothing really to report on the 4th of July except for everybody, yay, had a really good time. So we're real happy with that. And that's all I've got.
Anybody have any questions? Bill?
So comparing it to last year, how would you compare it to last 4th of July?
Well, there was...
Capacity-wise?
Sure. It was very busy, but we did set things up differently this year with the West Barnstable Fire Department, with the PD. Instead of doing triple stacking, we did double, and that was it, because they felt that there were too many... you couldn't even see the beach, right, from the road. You couldn't see the beach from the ORV. So they wanted less congestion, and we really worked well with that, and it worked out super well, really, really well. So it was, we had a couple minor incidents, but we do you can do it every weekend, something will happen. But.
So could you say that we had fewer people this year, but no, it was the same numbers?
Right, because we had a mile open.
I was going to say the beach is open for
Oh, okay.
We only had a half a mile last year at 4th of July, so double that, double stack them instead of triple stacking into a half a mile. It was much more manageable, safer for everybody, and I did not get any complaints. And we always ask people to download the My Barnstable app. That is huge for us, because as soon as I always tell them, as soon as we know what's going on, you'll know. So a lot of people, we sent out an email prior to the 4th to all the people that use the ORV and say, please download that. And it is amazing what a difference the app makes, because as soon as it went out, we might have had a couple of vehicles, and then that was it. Everybody got the message that we were not open. That the beach was full. And then we reassessed it. I put out another notification at 2:30 that the beach was opening at 3, and we did a soft opening, so if anybody showed up, we just let them out there, and by 3 o'clock it was good to go for the evening crowd. So it was really, really well, really good. And we actually had staff parking people, making sure that they were, not on top of each other, but not too far apart. We also had staff parking folks in the parking lot so we could get the maximum number of people in there. So with all of this going on, it was a slam dunk.
Good.
Yeah.
How was the air up?
Well, excellent. I will tell you, there's if you don't know, there's a store at the end of the road called Sandy Neck Provisions. Mm-hmm. It's not associated with us,
right,
but they sell everything for the beach. They actually put in 10 lines for airing up, and it's free. Yeah. So when we have too much going on, we have 2 new compressors. We've got tons of lines that we can put out there. We've also got a portable compressor, but people can go right down the road and they can just air up. So people were using that also.
That's great.
Might save us some money on the reconfiguration project.
We'll just make them part of us.
Well, if there's places they're up, there's places there.
Is it a local new company, a good neighbor?
It is. They started last year. It's great. We're working with them. I gave them some signs with QR codes so people can actually, while they're purchasing, they have Sandy Neck package. It was exactly what they need for all the equipment. The board, the shovel, the tire gauge, the tow rope. And I gave them the QR codes, and they're laminated, and they put them up so people can actually apply for their permits while they're purchasing the stuff for the beach. So we work hand in hand with them. Really a nice young couple. They've got a lot of very cool stuff. They sell stuff we don't, like the bug spray, suntan lotion, even though we have it in the bathhouse.
They got chairs and,
chairs
things
and
like
umbrellas.
that, beach chairs and stuff.
Yep, and nice beach wear. Actually, if you haven't had an opportunity to stop in there, it's a pretty neat place. It really is. So
yeah, it's great to have that sort of symbiosis with the local business person. Like, to be honest, they're not going to get tons of traffic through there, so this helps them quite a bit, and It helps us too. I think so. That's good.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks, Donna. In terms of old business, I'm just going to give you a quick update on a couple things. The project, the beach reconfiguration project, not tons of news. The only one piece of news is that we, because of the timing of the funding process with the various agencies that we're applying to. There has been a decision made that there'll be no work done on the project this year. I mean, if you remember, in theory, the original proposal was that, assuming all the everything fell into line, potentially we would have started as phase one of the project, which was the movement of the parking lot back. That could have potentially started this winter, and then there would have been a second phase for the gatehouse the following year. The funding, we expect to get some news on funding shortly, but we don't think it's going to be in time to do, to try to do a jam job on RFPs and everything else that has to get done to try to get things done this winter. So we have just taken a decision to say we're going to push it back a year. However, we probably will look to do both phases at the same time, which will be an interesting challenge, but at least that way we're sort of, it's obviously potentially could be a little.
I'll be in a tent.
a little disruptive at the beach, but there's also some benefit to kind of getting it over with too. So, but it's still to be decided at this point. But there will not be any activity this winter. So, so that's the only other news I have. Everything else nothing's changed since my last kind of update. The funding applications we're all sitting with fingers crossed, and we expect to. We're likely to hear some things fairly soon, but we don't know from who and how much at this point. So, and then the only other thing I had under old business, I don't have Bill here, so we'll skip over the public outreach and stuff. But keep in mind that September is the fee discussion, and a related topic to what I'm just talking about, the reconfiguration project, if you recall. 2 years ago, we did the fee, made some fairly significant changes in the way we're proposing the fees. Which was kind of trying to balance the fee charges more towards out-of-town users versus Barnstable users, which was one thing. And that was done, if you remember, because we did a lot of research and survey work on what other beaches are charging. We looked at our history over time, and it was quite evident that our usage of the beach has accelerated, multiple times for out-of-towners versus Barnstable usage, which has remained fairly flat. So, we do have to fund this project. We need to have money to fill in the, whatever we can't get from the various funding sources. So we want to continue that process of having a discussion we'll have in September on fees to make sure that we're staying competitive with the other beach options, as well as providing cash for the future to keep the the enterprise account whole and keep it robust so that it has money to spend on other capital items, even other than the beach, if they need trucks or whatever. So just Nina will get something out to us, I'm sure, ahead of time to look at that. Her proposals, and then we'll have a discussion, I think, in September, and then we have another one in October, and then we'll make a recommendation to the town council at that point for a fee recommendation. So just be prepared for that. I think that was all I had for under old business. Anybody else have any questions or comments on?
Just thinking about what you're saying about fees or funding. Will we know, I suspect we'll know a whole lot more then in another month or so as far as where the money's coming from, how much we're getting from whom, and what the costs.
Yeah, I mean, we hope.
We'll know all of that stuff in another month or two?
Yeah, we hope. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to predict what these various agencies are going to do. Obviously, there's lots of people competing for this money. So, but, I think it's hard to imagine anyone has a better thought-out project than this, or at least not, if not better, at least not any, we're not any worse. I mean, it's a pretty well thought-out project. It's been worked on for a lot of years with a lot of effort. I mean, you pick up that technical memo that's been put together, it's a seriously detailed document, which really not only states the problem very clearly, but also, the solution process that we went through to get to a solution was pretty robust. So, that's all you can do, and then you throw yourself to the gods from that point on, because it's kind of up to the state and what these various agencies and what they're looking at in other projects, and it's politics to some extent, right? So, you just do the best you can and hope for the best. So I hope by September we'll know a lot more, yeah. But any other questions or discussion points on our strategic areas? So under new business, the only thing we had proposed for today was the elections. As I said, I think since we have two of us that are two missing and two of us that are still waiting reappointment, we'll just move that to August, and we'll see if we have anything decided by then, and then we can hold the elections and get that done at that time. That was it for me. Any other public comments or questions? We'll open it up. Paul, Wendy? No? Okay. Any other discussion points? Then we'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Pete's not here. I'll move that we adjourn.
Can I get a second? Is that?
He was second before the motion.
This might be a world's record for a meeting, but anyway, thanks everybody for coming. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carried. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.